Right, welcome ladies and gents. Superman. Superman. Not a movie which generated a ton of box office receipts, but apparently, according to Variety's Warner Brothers insiders, a movie that has generated a profit for Warner Brothers. So, not overly sure what they've done, which has enabled them to make money, or maybe it's the studio lowering their expectations for these kind of films. Who knows? But allegedly, it has made more money than Man of Steel. I don't know whether I buy that wholesale or not, but I think it is worthwhile taking a look at and diving into this report just to see what we think here. Because, of course, the age of the superhero movie is over. The age of the comic book movie is over. And I get, the superhero comic book movie, the fanfare, the DC, the Marvel, these kind of things. I think they're done. So if they can generate profits based on reducing their budgets, which is what I've advocated for years here on this channel. I've said budgets for these movies are just insane. Like, it's stupid. It's genuinely dumb how much money is spent on these films now. And they can generate some level of profit based on that. Then, yeah, that's not a bad thing. Why not? I don't want the industry to die, quite frankly. There are still some good movies being made. So I don't want the whole industry to die just because studios are so stupid that they put all their eggs in one basket. So, anyway, whatever. I digress. Let's take a look at this. Please do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on. So, like I said, this is a report actually which came to us from Variety. And so this is just an article. Here's how much a profit Superman has reportedly earned from its theatrical run. So just its theatrical run. And this was hidden in this. And I'm really surprised that they hid it here. You'd think that they would do their own sort of, their whole piece on it. Right? Like, this is a weird thing to hide amongst the whole article. And it's talking about Warner Brothers' box office streak, which has been fantastic. Warner Brothers has beaten Disney currently. Right? They've beaten Disney this year. Now, Disney will ultimately win the box office this year because they're going to be releasing Avatar. Not The Last Airbender, although it's quite similar sort of conceptually wise. But anyway, they're releasing Avatar, aren't they? So they will win the box office overall, I'd imagine, with that. But they've got to wait a long time to get that movie out. So when it comes down to Superman and Warner Brothers in general, apparently they've done really well this year. Like I said, beating Disney. So let's have a look at this article. It's an interesting one. Again, I know I'm repeating it. I still don't really understand why they didn't lead with it. The whole fact that this also had the profit in there. It's a weird thing not to lead with. So take all this with a massive pinch of salt as a result of that, because it's a bit weird. But as I say here, talk about a scary good box office streak. The Conjuring Last Rites, which scored a franchise... I know I'm talking about Conjuring. Let me get there. A franchise best of $83 million domestically and $187 million globally over the weekend, has extended an epic theatrical run for Warner Brothers. Now, that's actually really important. And the reason why I wanted to cover that is in its opening weekend, The Conjuring Last Rites has effectively wiped the floor with what Snow White managed to do. By next week, this will urinate all over Rachel Zegler. Not literally, although she might like that. Who knows? No one knows what she's going to do. And that's actually truly impressive, because that also illustrates just how abysmal Disney has been lately. Right? That one movie, its opening weekend, can effectively, do all over Snow White. A massive property that should have been a no-brainer for Disney, actually. And they shot themselves in the foot. It's that meme of the cyclist going down the road. Why have you done this to me? Whilst they, sabotage their own bike. You're an idiot. So no other studio has ever achieved this level of consistency at the box office, which is the 7th consecutive release to open above $40 million. So as they say here, and we'll get to the Superman thing, after a terrible theatrical stretch with duds like 2024's Joker Folie à Deux and this March's Mickey 17 and the Alto Knights, the fortunes at Warner Brothers began to rebound with April's video game adaptation, a Minecraft movie, which debuted to $162 million, and then I think it went on to do $1 billion. I can't remember exactly. I'm fairly certain that's right, or close to. Then it continued. Sinners, opened to $48 million, and then that went on to do well in excess of 360 off the top of my head. And then there was Final Destination Bloodlines, $51.6 million opening weekend. Brad Pitt's F1, which was $57 million opening weekend. Superman, $125 million. And Zach Cregger's Weapons, $43.5 million. And then we get into some interesting elements here with profit. What's even better is that all of those films managed to stick around beyond opening weekend, a fate that several major releases recently failed to achieve. The Fantastic Four First Steps and Thunderbolts, for example, dropped steeply after promising debuts. A Minecraft movie is the studio's biggest earner of the year with $957 million globally. So I was right, yeah, just under a billion, sorry. Followed by F1, which distributed for Apple with $617 million. Superman with $613 million. Sinners, $366 million. Final Destination Bloodlines, $307. Weapons, $251 million and counting. And then we get into the profit. Here's the profit. And here's the interesting stuff. So back in the spring, Bong Joon-ho's sci-fi epic Mickey 17, with Robert Pattinson as well as the Robert De Niro-led crime drama The Alto Knights, had set the studio back at least $110 million in losses, which is mental. But the remaining lineup has delivered some enviable profit margins. Case in point, Sinners is expected, so not 100% done yet, but expected, and this is all expected to generate around $60 million in theatrical profits. Superman is expected to do $125 million in theatrical profits. Final Destination Bloodlines, approximately $75 million in profit. Weapons, around $65 million in profit and counting, according to knowledgeable individuals. So for F1, Warner Brothers was paid a flat distribution fee, as well as a percentage of revenue in line with certain box office benchmarks, resulting in theatrical profits of roughly $34 million. Warner Brothers declined to comment, but a studio insider disputed these figures without providing specific numbers. The source added that Warner Brothers has made roughly $600 million in combined year-to-date theatrical profits before counting the latest Conjuring, which is, I don't know if you total that up, if it hits that. I mean, it looks like it would be around that, to be fair, so that's a bit of a weird thing to correct on, but okay. So, basically, I mean, the long and short of it is, Variety is stating that Superman has earned Warner Brothers $125 million, which actually isn't a lot of money. Now, it's not a flop. I mean, I'd love $125 million. I mean, guys, you want to give me $125? That'd be brilliant. In fact, actually, if you've enjoyed this video or any of my other content, I have a Patreon, which you can access exclusive content on, and it's a great way to support me and the channel and what I do. The link is down below, and you can subscribe there for as little as $2 a month. It is nothing. Go support me. Love you. Anyway, point is, $125 million domestic. That's what they're saying. Or not domestic, sorry, just $125 million. That's what they're saying. Now that is nowhere near what these movies used to do. Okay, it's just not. But it has apparently made money. It's made some money. So, I don't know what's going on with these accents. So it's made some money. But that's what they're saying. But I still think we are witnessing the end of the comic book movie, the superhero movie. Because, not the end, like, as in, we're seeing the end of the hype. They'll still trickle on, but nowhere near on what they used to do. Maybe they'll get a rebound, who knows. But 125 million, it's not bad, but it is not the billions that these movies used to do, which would equate to like $300, $400 million, all this kind of stuff, which is what made Disney a powerhouse. So it's interesting, it's fascinating. So there's the profit, apparently, which has allegedly, according to this article, Superman has reportedly earned nearly triple the profit of Man of Steel, apparently. And that's what they say here. So, as you can see, Man of Steel 670, Superman 614. Profitability, Man of Steel 42.7. Okay. Superman 125. I don't know. Maybe it just cost way too much money. But there you go. It's interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.